Welcome to Hardcast TV Book Review, supported by IPMI Business School and mentored by Professor Sambel. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Corporate Finance Book Club channel today. It's a rainy morning here today in our studio, but surely it will not prevent us to have a very intriguing discussion. Today, I'm not alone. I'm here accompanied with three gentlemen here, and we are going to discuss this great book. Let me quick introduce you to our panelists here. We have Pak Dede Hardiansyah.
Good morning. Good morning, Hence.
We have Pak Alvaro.
Good morning, Hence.
And we also have another panelist live from New York, Bapak Richard Chandra. Good morning, Pak. Or should I say good evening? Okay, and myself is Hence. I will be your host today. And we are here today to discuss a book called The World for Sale, Money, Power, and the Traders Who Barter the Earth Resources, written by Javier Blas and Jack Farchy, two of the world's best-known journalists over the past 2 decades covering energy, commodities, and trading houses. They both work for Bloomberg News, where Blas is the chief energy correspondent and Farchy is a senior reporter covering natural resources. So guys, when I read this book, I really cannot put it down up until the last page. This is surely not a fiction book, but it feels like one. We know this is not a fiction because the author itself already interviewed more than 100 active and retired commodities executives. Okay, before we go further, I would like to get your understanding. What do you think, Pak Dede?
Well, just like you said, actually, Hence, right? Okay, so the word that they describe about the commodity traders, well, they are actually the, how do you call it, the executive, okay, who actually buy the physical goods, right? Like, copper, oil, mineral, and other just like one. And then they send all of the commodity traders, right? Okay, and all of them, right, into the consumption market. Mainly, they are located in Europe, North America, and Asia as well, which biggest consumption market for Asia is India and China as well. So basically, the commodity traders that we've been talking about is actually the middleman. We call it as a middleman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think relate what you just mentioned, Hence, that this is not a fictional book because the first 4 point of the Words for Sale explore the history of the global commodity trade. The book also examined the impact of technology on the commodity trade, from the use of drones and satellites to monitor crop yields to the development of blockchain technology to track supply chains. So Blas argues that technology has revolutionized the commodity trade, making it more efficient and transparent, but also increasing the risks and uncertainties faced by the market participant.
Okay. Pak Richard, what do you think?
Thank you, Ms. Hence. Again, good day, everyone. The book, as the two gentlemen said before me, so I do agree that this book is actually the very genuine and authentic books that tell us the story about the complex industry, about the political, the issues on the social issues, the economics downturn and upturn, the history, and how, let's say, they summarize all the story in the colonialism world to evaluate evolutions to our current world or current industry. Back to you, Ms. Angel.
Okay, thank you, Pak Richard. So, Pak Dede, let's dive more into the book.
All right.
So, this book is talking about pioneers, right, in this kind of industry. So, who do you think is the pioneers in this industry?
Okay, cool. Good question, Hence. Well, there were a number of pioneers in this industry, right? But in my opinion, that the authors considering that everyone will think one of the pioneers of the industry, right? Okay, and it really contribute to the to the perception and the image of the reputation of the industry. Okay. And then, because the industry has already a smart rich, right? It was Mark Rich, okay? Mark Rich was a very visionary, the oil trader, okay, who revolutionized the industry, right? He played a key role, okay, in the development of the spot of oil market, okay, in the industry, immediate supply of oil, rich controversial, business dealings, okay, with his evasion of U.S. authorities made him history even more exciting, actually. Okay, and then Rich is credited, okay, with inventing the spot oil market and went on to find the international commodity traders Glencore. He made like $billions of the fortune by the process at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's go to Pak Richard now. Pak Richard, The subtitle of the book is talking about money, power, and the traders who barter the earth resources. So if we want to deep dive more on the money, what do you think the words of money here referring according to the book?
All right, thank you. Good questions. Indeed, money. When we talk about the money, first of all, when we talk about the commodities trading here, it's really involving a lot of capital that being at the stake. The book implies that the money is one of the most important aspects that serve as a primary motivation for the traders. Take an example for Cargill, the world's largest agriculture business product distributor. This company that at least generates $3 billion per year. Very few people knows about that because it's privately owned and owned by only two branches of the same family, the Cargills and the Macmillans family. Which have Macmillans and Cargill, they have the most billionaire any family on the planet, and they only have they have the source of the energy, they have the controlling the supply chains of the agricultural business. They have a lot of money and they becoming richer and richer every day. Another example is the Glencore executive who was stopped at the London Heathrow Airport with £500,000 in the cash. At the time, they told the authority that are in the countries where the bribes are simply aren't possible, like in Japan, in Switzerland, and much more Western Europe. But in the other hand, they're keep saying that the China is very corrupt. Why they are saying that? Because the bribes, the money at the time, back to the 40-50 years ago, is much more let's say important for the bribery. Why? Because the money for the can be used for the bribes to overthrowing the government. It can be used to controlling all the energy sources. It can have the power of the political and economic justice. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Ms. Hensche.
Okay, thank you, Pak Richard. Now, Pak Alpha, let's talk about China. China is driven by growth in raw materials and manufacturing. China supplies energy too much to Western world, especially Germany, and unfortunately, Russia as well. And China supplies cheap goods and imported goods as well. The dynamics of commodity trade have undergone a fundamental shift due to the rise of China and other emerging economies. This shift has resulted in higher volatility and competition in the industry. The writers explore the various goods that influence the worldwide economy, such as oil, gold, copper, soybeans, among other examples. What do you think?
Yes, this book delves into how the emergence of China and other developing economies have effectively transformed the nature of trading commodities, resulting in greater volatility and competition. Also stated in the book that the global commodity trade has encountered fresh obstacles due to the growth of emerging economies and their surging demands for commodities. They also highlighted the historical dominance of a handful of influential people, such as multinational corporations and Western government, in the traditional control of the commodity trade. Nevertheless, the traditional equilibrium of power has been disturbed by the emergence of developing economies, most notably China. The rise in China's demand for commodities has resulted in heightened competition for resources, causing price surge and paving way for fresh opportunities for commodity producers. In essence, the book suggests that the global commodity trade has been significantly altered by the emergence of China and other developing economies.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's crazy, right? Even in chapter 11, Hunger and Profit, the authors claim that the head of Glencore Russia grain businesses publicly called for an export ban just few weeks after Glencore had quietly bet on rising grain prices. The authors also note that Glencore reported profits of $659 million in 2010. On top of that, there are many words written in this book as well. An example too, where you can just see how much the power of community traders significantly influences the course of the conflicts.
All right.
It's very fascinating book, gentlemen. As a closing, do you have anything more to say about this book?
Wow. Okay, starting from here. Okay. Well, actually, before I read this book, right? Okay. So I never really thought that the energy is really playing super important role, right, for any aspect of human living, right? Energy is story. Energy is how do you call it? The politics. Energy is a power. But what makes me surprised is that currently the British petroleum boss say that BP business is business, But to me, it's really funny, right? Because I read this book, okay? No matter what we are thinking about the business, petroleum business, right? Well, we need to admit that, this is petroleum business is still politics. Am I right? Okay. So there's an example. There's an example from Libya. Okay. So Libya opens the book during the Libyan war, right? And then, the decision to supply of oil and rebels is made. They have changed as the way they progress the war, something like that. So yeah, again, it's back to money. It's back about how they call it. Energy is story. Energy is the power, right? And then energy is politics. That's quite important.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
Pak Richard, do you have last word to say?
Yeah, thanks. As what Mr. Dede just mentioned, I do agree. Indeed, it's politics. Oil is power, and that's exactly what John Doe, a very famous commodity trader back to the 1819s, defined oil as money, and it's equal to power. So, whoever have the oil, they have the money to controlling the power. The power that the traders has is shocking. It's quote unquote from the book says that the large share of the world trader resources is handled just a few companies, and many of them owned by just a few people. In the chapter 3, The Last Banks in Town, the authors allege that the Jamaica government even turned to the commodity traders for some help. When they were runs out of oil and the central bank are unable to raise the funds or the money to pay for the cargo oil, even their own minister and energy called Mark Rich, an international commodity traders, financial and businessman who found the commodities company Glencore, they are asking to help the country to provide oil without any clear terms of payment. At the time, Mark Rich delivered a government worth of $10 million even without any signing contract. The risk is high, but it's worth it too. The Jamaica government at the time will not forget how the Mark Rich has saved them from ruin the country. And nowadays, the Caribbean island will become a source of profit for rich and successful decades to come. This trade was a demonstration of the massive power that Mark Rich have and now wielded thanks to his mastery of the oil market. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. Henson.
Okay, Pak Alfa.
Continuing what these two gentlemen have mentioned earlier, what we could take from the book, for decades, the big trading houses had been private, keeping their secret to themselves. Once commodity traders did, raising billions on capital markets a decade ago, they finally had the financial firepower to really create disruption. To name a few, Iraqi Kurdistan declared independence thanks to the trader. Russia survived sanction, no small part thanks to the legion of Swiss-based traders. Chad financed itself through oil for cash deals that traders arranged. They bartered the Cuban sugar for oil into international market and effectively kind of kept the revolution going. Those are examples in which the commodity traders have significant role to play, not just economic, also to geopolitical impact.
Well, I believe we all agree that this book is really a good book and built on thorough investigation. The book was created by conducting confidential interviews, talking to people who don't want to talk for years, with the majority of important individuals in the field.
Yep.
They searched thousands of pages of legal documents, company reports, prospectus, and wide range of other sources, and it shows by them incorporating over 60 pages of reference and notes. This book is superbly researched and well written. It's a great introduction to the central role that community traders have played in the global economy from the end of World War II to the present day. Okay, I believe we have time is over, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us, Pak Richard. I know that it's already late in the night in New York. Thank you for all your contribution and insight. Hope to see you again in our next book review.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Richard. See you.
See you. Thank you, Pak Richard.
Bye.